register, how to run businesses in Bosnia, and it's quite interesting. So this is what we are going to go through. The other one is basically USAID that published also a brochure from the idea to the business. So today basically we will have this more or less 3 parts, as you can see: before registering business, and after registering business. You have done this before registering business, right? You haven't done anything. What is it that we need to do? Registering business is rather easy. Believe me, it is easy because the registering business is very difficult. And running business, so staying successful, as Yasminko has put, how to run, but also how to establish, but also remain. How to be and how to remain successful is a very big question. So this is something that we are going to see. So before you register business, you have to, what do we have to do? We have to run so many different scenarios. We have to ask all sorts of questions. Because our business or our ideas can be very interesting, but sometimes, we may fail. Personally, I have registered like 3 companies on my own. One of them sold, the other one flopped, but also we just put it adjacent to another company, and I still have one with my partners. We run consulting business. To be successful before you register, I've told you, although people are complaining it is difficult to register businesses in Bosnia, believe me, it is not. I registered businesses for somebody else in Sarajevo, in Bosnia, in Croatia, in Macedonia, in Serbia, in Belgrade. And they are telling me, you see, Macedonia is the easiest country for the business. It appeared to me about the same. I have the same preconditions. I have run extensive preparations for all these 4 destinations. So it is about the same. I'm not justifying our bureaucracy, red tape, the government here. I'm not justifying anything. It can be shorter. Republic of Srpska has made it shorter already, but it is not difficult to register business. What is difficult is to be successful in business and to respond to all the challenges that you will find along the way. There are so many of them. Before you register business, once you are registered, you have so many duties that you need to fulfill. If you register a simple DOO or limited liability company, LLC, there are many things that you need to fulfill. If you have only 1 employee or half an employee, this government, the law allows it, you still have to fork out every month, more or less, something between 7 and 1,000 km, depending on the locations where you are. And this is something that is really important. So you need to consider whether you are going to go registering your businesses or not. How usually the entrepreneurs do? What do they do before they register? Because once you register, this is the cost you have to incur. Yes?
What about if I don't need to register?
Good question. Why do we register business? What for? Why should I register business? I can run it on my own.
Not to get punished.
Not to get penalized, not to get all this. Is that the only reason? Why do we register businesses is a very good question. Why people register businesses? They can do it on their own, somewhere in the basement, in the garage. Why we register businesses? This is something we need to answer today. Why do we register businesses? You want to be a businessman, you want to sell something to somebody, First thing they will ask you, where is your company? Where is your seat? What type of businesses you have? No matter how small you are, the moment you want to grow bigger, this is extremely important. In the States, where Malcolm is from, believe me, they are so meticulous about your corporate culture and your corporate approach. They always watch what kind of watch you wear, what kind of tie you have, what is your car, what is the model. They're very smart. If you have the same car, but they will say the model 2016. At the end of the year, they will release the brand new Mercedes-Benz 2016. It is 2015. So when you come to the business meeting and your car is not 2016 model, they will question what kind of business you have. So there are many reasons why we need to register businesses. First of all, the law requests us to register the business, so we pay, government wants us to pay taxes. And so we want to deal with businesses because business is all about interaction with people. Can I do business with myself? I need the market, right? I need persons or organizations to sell my services or products. So this is why I need. We can ask Yasminko, why did you register business?
I ran into it. I couldn't deal with it
anymore.
Yeah. started a business performance project. I couldn't have done it without having
company, corporate body.
Without them paying to my bank account, it wouldn't work. For example, if you want to put product on a shelf at the end, they wouldn't deal with you if you are not registered. So I ran into my limit of dealing without a company. We dealt with it for about a year, and that was so we can't deal with it anymore. That's our reason.
But
your product, one your product, everybody will ask for a bill if he's so serious. But you cannot give him bill if you are not registered.
yes, you cannot issue your invoice unless. Now we are running on Tuesday. I invite all of you. Central Bank. We have domestic day production, or the forum on domestic production, on May 19th. Central Bank, just behind the Brazil Cafe. If you don't know where the Central Bank is. So, and why I mention this? We are writing to so many potential donors. The first thing they ask, can we wire the money? We don't want to give you cash, but can we transfer the money? And us as a student business club, we don't have our bank account. What do? We rely on the corporate identity of our university, and they send the money to the university. So there are many reasons. Of course, there are strings attached to it. We need basically to understand, once we are registered, we are a legal entity, there are many rules and regulations that we need to abide. But anyway, let's go back. And before that, this is our second part. I want to see, how to mitigate the risk. There are so many risks. What do you do to mitigate the risk? Okay, some of you are first, second, third year. When you register your university, you also want to avoid risk. We have our potential candidate for the university. What do we do? How do we mitigate? How do we lessen? How do we decrease potential danger of running into risk? What do? I told you we run different scenarios. What if? What's going to happen? So, and this is important for us to understand. We need to be sure. There are many techniques, decision-making tools. There are so many softwares. But for you, what I gathered from you now, what is the best way? Basically, you sit down and talk not only to your friends, have coffee downtown and see how things will work. I freshly remember how our friend here basically was really checking with us. And this is important in business. He was checking design with all of us, how it is, does it look appealing? And he was asking, where can I get all these supplies? And then, get in touch with the, potential competition. Get in touch with people who are already in the businesses, and also with some friends. They will always give you advice, whether the idea. Don't be afraid to disclose your ideas unless it is so secretive. But usually, it is better that you disclose so you can test how things are going to happen. Okay? Let us now focus to our main. How are we going to basically register businesses? How do we register businesses in Bosnia? What do? This is just the address. If you need to go and get the brochures, you don't have to go in flash. You can get it from the online. All the brochures are available in the PDF. How to register business, how FAQs, frequently asked questions in businesses, and just explaining to us and helping us what is it to be done. How many steps? There are many steps basically in registering company, but if you are prepared, that's not so difficult to do. Yasmin, you have registered DO now. Obert, okay, which is easier. You need even less money, but then you are fully responsible. Your full property. You see, first of all, we need to decide what kind of business we want to, or what type of legal entity or business or company we want to register. So there are quite a few, options offered to us. Do you know what are the options that we may choose? You haven't considered this, and you are preparing your business plan. We also have our businessman here. He's our former student, now completing his master's degree, and he is in charge of Sarajevo Ključ, which is sock production company, Hanefija. So what type, and this is DD, very complex. It is still DD.
Yes.
DD is a very complex. DD is joint stock company. So let's start from the top. Why would we register the stock, joint stock operations or company? Not really. Isn't it? When you have a lot of money, when you have loads of money, you register this. Yes.
Maybe because when you buy stocks, you invest in your company and you use someone else's money and make it double.
Okay.
Maybe they have profit.
Certainly. So when you list when you publicly list the company, when companies are publicly listed, you open it up for anybody who wants to buy the shares. And this is, shares are floating in the market. And there are many types of the shares. This is something I'm not going into. Yes?
Because you have many founders in the company, because you need to divide how each founder or each company member will have, let's say, some part of the company.
But this can be done in partnership too. In partnership, I run a partnership company. We are 5 and we can leave it open. This is just nice. There is nobody outside. So the building is ours now, I guess. The postgraduates will come later on. So, of course, this is the extreme. The big corporations, when they list their companies, this is the step they cross over. But let's go into the simpler, something that most of us are aspiring to have, which is LLC, limited liability company. What does it mean? What is limited liability company?
Legal entity that is separated from us, and for instance, if we have some debt as a company, if that company needs some debt, bank or any other institution will not be able to take our property.
Our personal property. So that's one part. So limited liability, we are liable only for the percentage or the amount we brought in to the company. For example, let's say our paid up capital is 10,000 or 2,000 km, and our liability will only be up to 2,000 km. If the company is bigger, of course, only to this amount. It has nothing to do with our personal property. In the case of the micro business, you are fully liable. God forbid it goes sour, it goes bad, we have to cover it. And, but the beauty of it, you are on your own. You are independent. You need to have much less money to start up with the business. Okay, so this is, basically I was focusing on the LLC. You can choose, really, but you need to see, what are the determinants? What is it that will help us choose type of business? What do you think? You need to consider this. This is important for you. What form, what type of budget is not the only thing.
Yeah, but no one will establish LLC company right now because the budget is not.
How much are you going to risk?
How much are we going to risk? What else?
Are we exporting or importing?
Okay.
Because sole proprietorship is not able to export or import.
Okay. Okay. This is for you to get the export number or import number. This is important for you. You have to. What else are the reasons you want to have a limited liability company or micro business? We never know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So there are many determinants, there are many factors that will help us decide what type of businesses we are going to choose. In the eyes of other businesses, in the eyes of potential partners, in the eyes of investors, LLC is usually the most preferred, not necessarily, but the most preferred form is LLC. Hence, I was focusing on the limited liability companies. That there is slight variation now in the federation compared to the Republic of Srpska, but it's only a matter of time. They are more, they expedite the process, so apparently you can finish the registration in 4 days. But believe me, I registered a company here, foreign company, with the foreign owners in Sarajevo for 5 days. We got the court registration, we got the number, we got stamp, provided you do your proper preparation. So preparation is number one. You remember, failing to plan is planning to fail. The very famous saying, So this is something that is extremely important. Good. So what are the steps? What do we see in here? We need to, once we have our ideas, we prepare our business plan, we have mitigated the risks, we know how, we are very determined, we want to go into that, we found the money we need. So there are quite a few steps. Number one that we need to do is prepare one document. That one document we call incorporation agreement. If, in the English speaking, it is always the incorporation agreement, even if you're doing it by yourself. In here we have two types of documents. If there are 2 or more persons, we prepare the agreement or contract. If there is only one person, we just make our decision. I hereby solemnly declare that I possess this money and I would like to invest this money and open this company with this and that. This is easy. You have a lot of forms You can easily get them from the net. So you make your decision, but as the notaries were just recently created, the notary institution of the notary, we have to go through the notary process and to the notary procedures. We have to go to the notary office, and they will, we can prepare it on our own, but still, they have to notify this. I'll show you how much it costs also. There are two documents. So either one of these two. Either decision if you are doing business on your own, or incorporation agreement if you are doing that with your partners. If you have 2 or more people, then this is what you do. Okay, so what do we usually specify in this very document? What would you specify? What is it? What does it serve? What do we usually have in the contracts anyway?
Name, headquarters.
Okay. So for us to do this, we need to prepare basically quite a few things. So first of all, we need to prepare our personal, we need to prove that who we are. So what do? We prepare our IDs. What else? Our law requests us to prepare certification that we don't have any criminal proceedings against us and that we are not bankrupt. So this is important. 2, what else you put there? So you prepare the copy of your ID. These things you can get from the court or from the municipality. What else do we need to prepare?
Maybe birth certificate.
Seat. What do we need to prepare the seat? So this is answering some of our questions. Why should we register LLC, a limited liability company? Basically, we want to have our seat where the company is going to do the business. Birth certificate, not necessary nowadays, because there is a slight change now as they are, because there is a prohibition on disclosing any of the personal items. So we prepare the ID, copy of the ID. We prepare the non-criminal proceeding usually from the police and from the court that we don't have any, that we are not bankrupt, or no liquidation process is in the process against us. So what else? So basically, what do we put in our decision or in the contract is basically a list of the activities that we are going to do. So we are basically giving the mandate to our company, a list of the activities. For example, what is it you want to do? Just remind me.
To develop a software.
Okay, software. So you need to register all the activities, list all the activities that you are going to have in the due course in your operations. This is important because once you are given this, for example, if you are a catering company, you won't be able to develop software. Banks, for example, in Bosnia, there is law on banks. LLC is basically under the law on companies. And our companies are registered in the court usually. Elsewhere, in many countries, companies are registered in the company's register. So what do we have in here? So first we prepare that document, then we prepare, they call this initial capital, but it is properly called paid up capital. Paid up capital for the LLC, the minimum amount of the paid up capital is, have you checked? 2,000 km. Okay, so minimum. Why 2,000 km? You are just starting new business. Why should you put 2,000 km? It makes no sense. Why is it 2,000? Basically, the legislator, they just put 2,000 without consulting much the industries, really. In the beginning, it was 1,000, then they increased to 2,000. Personally, I believe it should be 10,000. Why?
Because you have to have company money for the operations.
Because, exactly.
2,000 is not probably...
If you are serious, you want to do business and you want to register LLC, it should be 10,000. So you should cover at least half a year of your operations smoothly. If you are not able to do that, you can start with micro business. It is much easier, less paperwork, no paid up capital, much easier. Because remember, I've told you, deregistering companies or canceling your name in the company's register is more difficult, more tedious. Why? Because you have to publish extensively to the whole world through the Gazette, official Gazette of, depending where you are, Canton, Federation, the official Gazette of Bosnia, and asking everybody, do I owe any single penny to anybody? So, and it has to, it has to be published. It has to stay for for a while, and if there is nobody, asking or alleging any towards your company, only then, and it takes, this liquidation process is very tedious. So this is why I strongly advocate. You want to register LLC, the paid up capital should be minimum 10,000, because you need to pay salaries, you need to pay contributions, you need to pay so many different taxes or parafiscal. Elvisa and I, we work on some, and Professor Zafar also. So there are so many things that you need to pay once your company starts rolling. So hence, I strongly believe it should be 10,000. And for you, if I can give you advice, you want to start your business, try to make some buffer zone that will help you. If you're going to start with 2,000, you're going to be scratching. You may be successful, but it will give you extra motivation. This is responsibility. I put some money, so I have to work really extra hard to do this. This is as far as the paid up capital. So this paid up capital, how do we pay? Where do we put this money? We open up basically a temporary account in the bank. So we deposit, there is this depository account in the bank. So our money is there temporary. Nobody is using it, but we cannot use it either for this period until and unless we get the clearance, registration paper from the court. So we pay this initial paid up capital, we deposit the money, and we prepare all these documents I mentioned to you, either decision or incorporation articles or agreement, and then with this, we go to the court. And they say we wait in the court very long. I've told you my experience was really, really fast. For some reasons, there are many things that you need to check. What is the name of your company? For example, I want to run a company, Turkey, Bosnia, very difficult. Or I want to run, for example, Bosmal company. If there is an existing company, they will not grant you that name. So you have to propose the name, the seat, the address, all these things. And they are going to check. The company is registered, they are going to check everything thoroughly. And if the name of your company carries some famous name or some famous brand, or the name of the place, country, you might have difficulties. So this is, again, another advice. Try to have something that is much easier for you, that will help you. So, and registration at the court, at the competent court, usually municipal, first instance court, once we submit this, it may take, they say, maximum 1 month. My experience was much better. So the law provides for the court registrar to take 30 days. They are now considering to change and to have one-stop shop where you have an idea, you have business, you have money, you come, they will do it all for you. In the RS, they really have simplified the process, and they have taken so many steps much faster. So once you are registered in the court, now you are a legal entity already. But still, to start the operations, there are a few steps you need to complete. One is basically making company stamp. My first businesses with some of my friends, we ran in Malaysia. So there are no stamps. In your daily routines, you hardly put any stamps. In your correspondence, some important stuff, even in your invoices, you have your address and seat and your memorandum. That's good enough. If you have your letterhead and you sign, your signature is much stronger than, but not in here. In here, the bigger the stamp, the better off you're going to be. So the stamp is really important. The court will basically prescribe the form of your stamp. So how do we do this? There are few companies only doing this. You cannot make your stamp anywhere. So to do this, you bring this registration from the court, and they will make your stamp. Okay? Step number 5, obtaining bank account in a commercial bank. Usually in the same bank where you deposited your money, that is sitting there, nobody's dealing with your money. Again, you bring your stamp, you bring your resolution from the court or the registration from the court, and then you register it, you open up an account. Of course, again, you'll have to provide the person who is in charge of the bank account. You can appoint as many as you want, 1, 2, 3. They allow, as long as you have decision of the company. And if you are the boss, if you are solitary, if you are only one, they will allow you to, have as many people as you want to basically deal with the bank and sign all the bank documents. We call this the depositing card, as it is called. So all those signatures that are deposited in the bank will be able to deal with the bank and issue the money from and out of the account. Okay, and then you go to this tax administration. In our case, you have still so many levies, you know. But of course, the sooner you go, the better off. You have, I think, 1 month period to register. If you don't register, they can issue a penalty to the company. Again, you submit all these documents in the tax office. You don't have to register to the VAT tax, value-added tax, unless you have until the moment you have your revenue of 50,000 KM, if I'm not mistaken. So, but 50,000 per annum, yes, annually. So basically, but it is always good. Again, you know, all people that you are dealing with, you are not the VAT registered. They look suspiciously what is happening with the company, which is again another issue. So, and then also what you need, what is not mentioned here, for you to run the operations, you also have to have export and import number, which is, and this is something you get from the tax office. And then you register at the tax administration, and also, how do you call something that is not mentioned here? Statistics. Statistics office is very important. You have to have your statistical number. With this, and this statistical number and the court registration, you have to have displayed in your seat of your company. This is in your office, in your main office. Okay, fine. And then you start your activity through the municipality notification. So you tell your municipality, let's say you are in Novo Sarajevo, okay, we have registered, you write a letter to them, submit all the copies of the documents, and then only you are ready to go. So it's not difficult process. It looks like 7 steps, but if you do your preparations, you can do it really fast. It can be, what is difficult if you are in construction company, or you remember our friend who's supposed to run into some medical supplies and some pharmaceutical industry, it is very difficult. And this is where the red tape starts. So we always wonder how some companies have permits and licenses and for the construction, and some others they can't get. This is something that puts Bosnia on 137th position in doing business, 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, what is the cost? How much money do we need to have? Okay, first we have this so-called establishment contract. What is the establishment contract here? This is, they say 300. You can prepare it yourself, but still you have to go to the notary. And notaries, they have this, they have basically monopoly. Many of the lawyers who are not notaries, they say they make mistake. They didn't know how powerful notaries' office is going to be in Bosnia. And this is, they have very wide authorities. They're very strong, and they have a lot of monopolies. If you go to their offices, you will notice it is just like a bank. You just come, pay the money for whatever you want, and then you proceed to get what you need. 2, so this is 300 km. 2, payment of the paid up capital. They call this basic capital for some reason. So this is 2,000. But this money is not a cost. It is your money. It is your paid up capital that you can use as soon as you open up your commercial account in the bank. Okay? 3, 405 km for the registration fee. When you go, and this is the tax for the court, registration fee, you need to pay this 405. And it also depends on the industry. If you're in pharmaceutical industry, chemical industry, military industry, it may vary. But this is like 405 for the registration fee. 150 km you need to pay for your company to be gazetted in the official gazette of Bosnia or Federation, here of the Federation. Stamp is anything between 20 and 50 km. Then when you open an account, it's free of charge, but you also have cost, monthly cost with the bank. Usually it's 5 km, the minimum, and it can go anything up to whatever you imagine, basically, and depending on your preferences. Registration at the tax administration, again, no charge. Municipality notification, you pay administrative fee of 15 km, and you have the cost of the lawyer. So they don't have the total cost. Excluding this 2,000, it comes to maybe 1,200. So safely, you can register a company with 2,000 km altogether to start rolling. But then, if you don't have your own premises, this is another cost, monthly cost. You have so many other monthly costs that you should basically consider. Okay. In the RS, let's see what is simplified. Quite simple, quite similar, right? You still have to have the contract or decision. You still have to pay the paid up capital into the bank or depositing account. But then, basically in here, as of new, they try to help you. So they try to gather all of these documents for you. So in the municipality office, then you make a company stamp, open bank account, and register the tax administration. So it is somewhat simplified, and they claim it is all done in 6 days. And people say it is really done. It can be done. But again, I tell you, this is not a biggie. This is not a big issue because there are many other things. Once you start running the company, you will see what are the hurdles and problems. You say, okay, so this is the main difference. You remember in the federation how much it was? 300 km. In the RS, 3 km, 3.5. Contract, 200. So if you are by yourself, much easier. You don't have to pay this 200 if you are preparing the contract to the notary. Payment of paid up capital, 1 km. I don't think it's good to have 1 km paid up capital. Why? Then everybody can open up a company. And if you are not aware what is awaiting, there is a problem. So easy to open up a company, difficult to run, difficult to maintain. It is costly then. So registration request submit at the APIF, which is also a tax office, 100 to 120 km. Manufacturing the stamp the same, and there are no charges there. So it is less cost, but on the long run, that's not a solution. This is very good cosmetic. This is very nice marketing trick on the side of the government, but for the sustainability of businesses is not good. If it is expedited and faster, shorter the process, it is fine. But paying 1 km for the paid up capital doesn't solve many issues. Because again, it is much more difficult to deregister the company than to liquidate the company than to basically go and register the company. So registering company is not so easy, it's not so tedious, it's not, they're scaring us too much for no reasons. And that's not the reason why we are at the 137th place in doing business 2014. Okay? Now we want to see how to mitigate risk. What is it that we need to do? What is it that helps us overcome some hurdles and problems? Because risk of us, going into green line or red line, are we going to make or break business? Are we going to make money or are we going to lose money? So this is what it's all about. And have you really considered your ideas? Have you tested your ideas? You have to have some models. What have you done in testing your business? Shayla, what did you do? What have you done in checking around your wedding services or business?
Since I didn't find any information about wedding consultant and planner in Bosnia and Herzegovina, I did the market research in America, in USA, and it is pretty, prices are pretty high, so I wouldn't set the prices that high. In the beginning of my business. I don't know what else.
But you never know. It depends who your clients are. Yeah. Last month or this month, some of our students were getting married. It was very lavish. They spent a lot of money. Amina and Hamza. So you never know. So why not? If they want to have something very lavish, expensive, and nice.
It depends on the couples. They need to tell me their budget and things like those. So the price isn't fixed. It's more flexible.
So because I supposed only to run through the registration, and last night Natasha was telling me we should also go through the risk mitigation. What I've done in preparation, I have downloaded this brochure, which is very interesting, really helping you how to mitigate risk in small businesses. I can send this to you if you are interested. Risk management for a small business, and basically just telling us, step by step, what is it that we need to do in order to really diminish possibilities of risks, and what is it that we can possibly go about managing the risk. I just prepared, yes?
Before we start to speak about risk, only about the procedure that is that should be done in order if we want to start or establish, how to say,
Municipality. Micro business, yeah.
Yeah, micro business.
Sole proprietor.
Yeah. What's the
All those steps or just
No, basically what you need to do is much more simplified. I'll show you basically just to see what you need to do once you prepare. Just 1 second. I think I have it here. Okay. Another brochure. This is prepared for the USAID, Amil Kamenica, exactly what we need. When you have some people living. Okay, no problem. Okay. So this is what you need. You also have, we cannot see. Are we all Bosnians? But we have Professor Malcolm here, so. Može. Also can. I have Chinese friends, they always say also can. Very interesting to me. Okay, fine. Dobro. Samo malo.
Ja sam sad pričao sa Jasminom.
Dobro.
Vezano za obrtna preduzeća. Vrlo je nizak, malo nešto trebaš platiti, nekih 400 maraka, ali ja odgovaraš svojom novnom, ali što je zanimljivo, kasnije za registrovanog radnika, ako osoba ta radi, znači kompanija, ne mora da plaćuje socijalnu
Doprinose.
ako već zaposle negdje gdje bi to neko drugi plaća.
Jeste. Dakle, to su izuzeci. To su za osobe koje rade i zato se to zove dopunska djelatnost. Registrovanje dopunske djelatnosti dozvoljava ljudima koji su već u radnom odnosu da mogu registrovati dopunsku djelatnost. Dakle, pored posla gdje su oni legalno prijavljeni, gdje rade, gdje im se plaćaju svi doprinosi, ne samo socijalno, zdravstveno, nego sve ostali poreze, svi doprinosi, sve skupa, a što je, sami znate, 67% od ukupnog 67. Dakle, ovo skora, zahtjev za odobrenje za rad, to obično imate u svakoj općini obrazac. Obrazci nisu svi isti, čak i u Sarajevskom kantonu, od općine do općine, ali imate, kad dođete tamo na šalter, u šalter salu, imate obrazac za odobrenje o radu, tako, odobrenje za rad. Može, ovo je Amil Kamenica pripremio, on inače drži ove seminare. 2, uvjerenje o poslovnoj sposobnosti. To je zdravstveno uvjerenje, faktički. To u bolnici, to je, ja mislim, neki, odnosno u domovima zdravlja, od nekih 20 do 50 maraka, zavisi gdje je opet uzimate. 3, diploma ili potvrda o stručnoj spremi i kvalifikacionom ispitu. Zašto je ovo važno? Dakle, zavisi o biznisu o kojem radite, nekad hoće, dakle, ne možete vi praviti medikamente ili praviti upravo ovo. Njegova supruga je u stvari farmaceut i ona pravi te sve smjese ili hemijski inženjer, tako da im je to bilo važno. Ako nije potrebno, dakle, ako se bavite nečim tako jednostavnim, ako je to samo trgovačka radnja, onda je puno jednostavnije. 3, odobrenja za poslovni prostor, jako bitno. Zašto odobrenje za poslovni prostor? Zato što u ovom slučaju obično su biznesi registrovani u nekim velikim, dobro uhodanim poslovnim zgradama, pa tako komisije koje izlaze nekad i ne izlaze. Dovoljno je da znaju koja je zgrada i koja je prostorija. Ako je to, na primjer, ako ste u Unitiku, ako ste u, ne znam, Twist Toweru, ako ste u, ne znam, u Bosmalu, onda oni ne izlaze, već imaju, oni su bili na terenu, znaju. Ali ako počinjete od početka ili ako je vaš biznis u nekom novom poslovnom prostoru, onda komisija iziđe i uzme, naravno, zapisnik napravi na terenu, da li odgovaraju svi uvjeti za poslovanje, za početak poslovanja. To nam može Larisa pomoći više, jel, kao arhitekt? Jeste.
Ovdje će, ovo što se tiče poslovnog prostora, tamo da u ovom slučaju se plaća reklama uz nekih 500 maraka godišnje.
A uvijek se plaća, to se zove porez na isturenu firmu. Porez na isturenu firmu se uvijek plaća u bilo kojem slučaju i on je na godišnjem nivou, ovisno opet ako je to kladionica, to je onda preko 1000 maraka. Ako su neki drugi biznis od 400, 500, 600 maraka, zavisi dakle, o vrsti biznisa kojom se kompanija bavi. 4, odobrenje. 5, poresko uvjerenje. Opet, dakle, ista stvar, da se registrujete u poresku upravu, poresko uvjerenje, ostale neophodni dokumenti, uvjerenje o državljanstvu, rodni list, tako dalje. Uvjerenje da nemate zasnovan radni odnos. Dakle, ovo je ako registrujete bez da ste uposleni. Ako ste uposleni, samo je drugačiji zahtjev. To je zahtjev za registraciju dopunskog, kako se kaže, dopunskog zaposlenja ili dopunske djelatnosti, kako već. Uvjerenje da nemate zasnovan radni odnos, potvrda o nepostojanju zabrane obavljanja ove djelatnosti. Dakle, ne može svako proizvoditi metke ili duge ili kratke cijevi ili medikamente ili kozmetiku. Dakle, te su stvari jako važne. Ali ako imate odobrenje, ok, sve je validno. I općinsko rješenje za početak, i to je to. Puno jednostavnije zato što manje više sve završavate u opštini. Imaju, naravno da imaju. Tako da možete to sve, to nije sporno.
Mene zanima što se tiče registracije kompanija, znači koja se bavi izradom softvera u našem
Dobro.
slučaju ovdje. Pošto nemamo baš neke regulative što se tiče toga, koji je izbor od ovih kompanija?
A ne, što se toga tiče, dakle, zavisi opet s kim, ako mislite prodavati nešto, pa makar to bilo u Hrvatskoj, onda je opet bolje LLC.
Pošto mi ćemo prodavati taj softver.
Ili onda morali bi ići preko posrednika. Vi možete preko posrednika. Tako da vam je uvijek bolje LLC, dakle LLC, DOO, društvo sa ograničenom odgovornošću, to će vam onda puno pomoći. Zafar Bey, you understand Bosnian? We switch. They ask me because many people run. Oh, you want to have it for this? No, I'm okay. Yes, we have many things, so we should speed up, right? Okay, so this is, I can share this with you, no problem. This is available. Actually, there are so many donor organizations who were helping, Bosnia and Bosnians how to register businesses. Why we needed this? Because previously in the socialist system, when you register companies, centrally planned economies, you don't have to prepare extensive business plan. Now you want to apply to for any loan or credit, or any money you want to get from the bank, you have to have not only the company, you have to have well-prepared, viable, feasible business plan that can sustain. So you have to really prove and convince the people who are going to give you money that your business is really sustainable and that can really go, okay? So this is just, this all explained here. I can share this document with you easily, no problem. So these are just documents. This is how much money do you need, exactly. So you can just have the whole breakdown. This request, sometimes, they just charge for it is 1 or 2 km, is almost nothing. Then they have certificate that you are eligible to work for this, depending, 5 to 20 km. You have to have your, how do you call it, certification or certificate. You get it, you just submit, you don't need to buy. The approval for the premises, again, the committee will come. They are not charging, but because you are paying this company display that you need to pay, so this is included in this. Because we always, many entrepreneurs, they ask, why do we pay this annual fee of 400 km for the displayed name of the company, whereby we sometimes even don't display this. They say this is how we, spend this and what we do with the money. Okay? Tax certificate, tax registration, and then the certification of your citizenship or your birth certificate and your ID copy, and then you have another certificate for that you are basically that you have permit to do the business, and just health insurance that you get from the.
So if you register a company as say DO or whatever, doesn't matter.
Okay.
So what should we do if we want to change the type of the company? If we want to go, let's say, from DO to DD.
Okay.
Are we going through all the procedure?
Changing anything in the court, again, you have to pay the tax, and it is almost the same. You have to go to the notary office. Of course, you don't go to the court to submit the new, but whatever you change, the notaries, they will prepare in quite a few copies. So it is almost as painful as, but the only thing, they will do more things for you. You can request them, they can submit. If you want to save some money, you can do it on your own as well. So whatever you want to change the activities, because there is this list of the activities prescribed by law, and you can choose from, there are some 1,000 activities that you can choose. Some of them it is very difficult to get the license. For example, military industry, media. For example, you want to establish a TV, is not so easy. You can only buy existing television station or existing business. Why? Because the whole spectrum has been fully covered, and you cannot there is no slot for anybody anymore. So this is why Al Jazeera Balkans, when they came, they bought NTV 99. And all these new television stations, they buy the existing ones. Okay, so and this is just basically explain how we go. So to change even the activities, it is almost the same process. And to change form of the company from DO or LLC into stock, joint stock company, it is a process. You still have to have decisions, you have to submit to the court, you need to pay the taxes because they still do the business. Then you have to pay also the gazette and publication that, you know, announcing that you are now in different form and all of that. So, and still you have to get the also certification that you are, there is no liquidation process for the company and that you are not, you know, bankrupt, and all of this you have to get. Financial data, all of this you need to submit. So just as difficult. And even if you are bidding for any public bid or public tender, you need to prepare to get all of these certification from all these instances. Tax office, court, police, health office. Have you paid, and contributions, have you paid all the contributions? So 7 instances, you have to have 7 documents. And they just recently changed it. So it used to be in the municipal court, now it is the court of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So everybody who is getting this, they have to come all the way to Sarajevo. The other day I had a friend from Teschen asking me, can I get this because we have a big tender, we are bidding, now they've changed. I didn't know also, they just changed starting January the 1st. So it is difficult. Okay, good. Let's go back to our presentation. I can share definitely this with you. Okay, risk, we all know what it is, yes?
Which law is related to establishment of company?
Loan companies. Zakon o osnivanju privrednih subjekata, privrednih društava. You don't have to write. I can give the brochure. It's easy. You can download on your own from FIPA, you know, fipa.gov.ba. FIPA.gov, so FIPA or FIPA. It is available there. They will explain all the steps, all the law that are, you know, covering and regulating this area. All the laws are listed there. So basically we have 2 laws, 3. One in the federation, the other one in the RS, and third one in Brčko district. Yes, so it's quite simple. So this is just basically what risk is all about. In Italian it means to dare. You know, there is always this interesting challenge for Bosnia. You know, for Bosnians, if Bosnians don't want to do something, you just tell them, don't you dare do this, and they will always do this. Malcolm, do you know this?
You won't be able to start a company.
So this is what we need to do exactly. So good. So basically, risk, you know, there are always elements of choice. We make choices. We are always at the crossroads. We make a lot of choices, a lot of junctions, turning. We go, right, left. We go straight. So this is what we do. It is always action-oriented. No pain, no gain. So hence we have to assume some risk, and this is okay. The only thing we want to see how we can manage the risk, and this is something that we can, you know, we will just run through. I have quite a few slides. I will skip some of them. Okay. Okay, I've told you, you know, we have choices, bad or otherwise, not so bad, good or bad, right? Outcomes again, and where can we make difference? What is it that we do? You know, frankly, with your startup businesses, I always say, having coffee with the right people in the right place can really save you a lot of money and can mitigate your risks big time. And it really does. You know, I always demonstrate the example when I was in Thailand, in Bangkok, and there is this very famous Khao San Street. And there were some tourist backpackers. They were just glued to their Lonely Planet guide. They don't want to see anything around them. They believe just as it is Bible, you know, before them, and they came and they were asking people, okay, can you help us? Where is this hotel? And I just couldn't believe, you know, they were in front of the hotel, but they were looking into the book, into their Lonely Planet Bible, not even raising their heads to see. So for you, you know, be relaxed and ask your friends, ask your colleagues, and check how the competition, if there is any competition, how they do. If there are no competitions, again, There are many things we can basically do in order to make difference, okay? What do we mean by risk here? There is always business that is, well, all businesses are risky. In leadership course, we study change and this very famous quote that the only constant thing today is change. Is basically, there is nothing that is not risky, but unless you take risk, you won't be able to run any business, okay? Of course, all of us are afraid of, flops or making big or huge magnitude losses. And then, of course, we want to see what is it that we gain at the end of the day. So what do we have? What do we have? How do we manage the risk? What is our roadmap? Do we have any recipe? Can anybody give us full indemnity from the risk? It is impossible, but we can mitigate the risk. We can decrease the chances of risk occurring or happening. So number one is basically where we are, where we operate, where is our market. So we need to check this. And there are so many variables in here that we need to really clarify, check, and try to ascertain. So we always check the business environment. To define risks. How do you define risk? How do we define risks? What do we do in defining risks?
Probably take from the SWOT analysis.
Okay. Okay. But we have done this, right? This is why I have written to all of you. All of you have heard this theme on the whiteboard. Can you see the whiteboard? PESTLE, SWOT, BCG matrix, SMART. All of you have heard. Is there anybody who has not heard of these terms? All of you have. But you were in a management class. Will you fail now the class or what?
No, I didn't, but I forget what is first one.
PESTLE. Okay. What is PESTLE is exactly business environment. Who remembers PESTLE? What is PESTLE? Is basically our environment. So we check all these political, economic, legal, social, technological, and environmental or ecological. So this is very important. So without this, it is very difficult for us to mitigate the risk. SWOT analysis, you have done this, all of you, I guess, and you have heard. But this is why, just for us to mitigate the risk, this is extremely important. BCG matrix, when we run the business, so we can see what is going to be our cash cow, what are the question marks, what are the stars that may shoot, and what are the dogs that we need, always to feed. You remember? Okay? And then SMART, in putting your goals, they should be smart, which is, the other part I wanted to talk about is basically how to prepare you a roadmap or Gantt chart in order to have your business really effective and help you, okay? So this is, we watch the environment, we run all of this, we define our risks. It is easy, okay? What is our risk? We don't have money maybe to sustain our company for 5 months. So this is a risk to ask. What if, we run, everything goes smooth for 3 months, but then we are not able to pay, an expert that we need so badly for the 4th month. There is a problem, So this is something that we need to check. No problem, no problem. See you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay? So we define risk. Okay, we just indicate this is our risk. Then we go into assessing the risk. We go and analyze. Okay, how are we going to fight this? Because you remember, if we don't define, we are not able to assess. Yes?
Okay. For all of us, it's easy to find the risk, what will be the risk, okay. But the question is, what will be the point? I'm asking every lecture.
Okay.
What will be the point that we will decide to take a risk or not to take a risk?
Okay, so this is a very good question. I have many answers to this. This is a very good question. This, how you answer, will show you whether you are an entrepreneur, leader, or whether you are a manager. If you are a manager, you will hardly take any risk. So this, sometimes if you analyze all these big business persons, Steve Jobs, Michael Dell, our friend Yasminko, he left, safe academia for another job, and he loved academia. Have you noticed his language? Everything is fine. He knows how to present, very nice. But then he says, no, I'm going to do my own business. So it will answer the question for you whether you are an entrepreneur. So there is no black or white answer. But then you have to run. I have a lot of models here. And there are so many softwares and also decision, tree, how to solve this. So, yes, no, we are going to check. And then we will come to some solutions that will help us, really go. All of us, we want to avoid the risk, but they are inevitable. But if You know, if we really want to focus on everything, my sister told me when we registered company with my friends, she told me, you are not going to be so successful. Why? Because you want to identify everything. Some other people are very successful because they just close their mind. They don't want to see what is awaiting for them, which is also maybe sometimes good. Because running businesses in very well-structured, you know, systems like Switzerland, Germany, Austria is not an easy, let alone in here where you can have a lot of unexpected. So you have to start somewhere, and it is always better to start than, why? Because once you decide and start, you at least can tell yourself, even if you fail, you know what, losing some, not so huge. So this is where you can put really the amount, whether you are going into business or not. So even if you lose it, you can tell yourself, at least I have tried. And there is always a lesson. I flopped one business, but I'm very happy about this because I learned, it was very good experience, and it really helps you to, but if, of course, provided, just like our friend, he failed one business miserably. He lost quite a bit of money, but he wasn't demoralized. He says, no, I have another. I have learned the lesson. I'm going, you know, I'm really going further. So this.